Good evening, viewers. Ukuliko Nsoko mletu mfuya. My name is Himba. I'm the host for tonight, and our topic for tonight is remarrying. In the studio with me, I've got a panel of very intelligent, wise, brilliant team. Nami Sengela. Twamipokelela ku program ya Nsaka. Let's meet and educate and sensitize one another on the issues that affect each one of us. This is Nsaka, as we come every day, every Thursday, every week to share issues that affect us in our daily life. And may I please take this opportunity to apologize for coming late or for bringing the program late. This is because of technical issues. But what is important is we are here. In the studio, I've just been joined by a beautiful, wonderful source of, I don't know how to say it, but I'm so happy and overwhelmed. Mr. Milambo, please welcome to the program. Please greet the viewers.
Thank you so much for having me, and good evening. We'll have a great time together.
It's nice to have you. We also have Varuthi Matamando. Welcome to the program, and please greet the viewers.
Thank you very much, Himba. Good evening, viewers, and thanks to Ubuntu family for being part of you.
It's nice to have you. Vapindani, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Himba, and good evening, viewers. Thank you for having me.
It's nice to have you. Mr. Julie Peter, welcome to the program. Mr. Peter Julie, welcome to the program. I'm sure he's having some technical problems there. He's going to join us. CJ, you're welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, viewers.
Thank you so much and welcome to the program, everyone. Before we go any further, may I say we are mourning as the world. We've lost our intelligent woman of integrity, the Queen of England. She just passed on this afternoon. We passed our condolences to the British family, and we mourn with them. Our topic for discussion this evening is, as I said, it's remarrying. What are we talking about this evening? We want to talk about remarrying. Ukupaka number 2 or number 3 due to many reasons. This can be a divorce. This can be after a loss of a beloved one. This can be, there are many reasons that make somebody to remarry. And so we want to look at that topic in detail. We are going to discuss, or we are going to handle this topic from all angles of society. And we invite the public to come and join us either through the messages, or you can come through in the studio through the link that is going to be shared by our IT team. Mr. Milambo, when we say remarrying, what are we talking about? Or what comes to your mind?
Marrying again. When we're talking about remarrying, the fact that we put re before the word marry, it means this is happening again. Somebody had married before, and they're going to marry again. For whatever reasons that they did, the first marriage didn't work. And now they're deciding to do it again. So when you talk about remarrying, we're talking about somebody deciding to get into this particular institution again. I think in short, that's how I could actually describe it.
Okay. Varuthi, you've heard Namufofu Batrondo Elaba Milambo. Inga ukupaka number 2. Therefore, much second finding. Inga na ukwata na umbi. wali upakala omwana kachumbi elo waupa umbi wa number 2 ni remarrying, or how do we define that? What comes to your mind when I talk about now ukwataka le umbi mleikala elo waisa upa umbi?
I think it is still remarrying, except you are not marrying the same person, you are marrying a different person. Remarrying, it's like doing something that you already did. As long as it's not your first time, it means you are remarrying.
Oh, so lopo bali bambi kunganda. Waisa aba number 4 ni remarrying. Waisa aba number 5 ni remarrying.
With me, yes. As long as you did it the first time. Any other thing, as long as it's the same thing. Nichia chine, chimochine, ulechi chitana food. Nichi it's a remarrying.
Rematch. CJ, what is your reaction?
Yeah, just like everyone has said, remarrying, since there is a re, it means we were married before and you are marrying again. And I would say basically that happens. Okay, there can be 3 circumstances under which that happens. Maybe a divorce, maybe one loses the spouse, or maybe an abandonment where umozi ata bache mzake. These days want banazanda kunkara mzibambwa nata bache panyumba madam amsi aeka. Even abazimai na even same.
Yeah.
Anaenda kapenda kunsomba kapenda kumarasha anaendelea. Asia mzake ankara widow unintentionally. Yeah, so
na hapo nishalipo kabili. So
kaibantu amaendelera 5-10 years muntu anaenda ero nishi iwoka likufuna awe
so nishwakushita remarry. So sometimes wakuta but kenge sikweze kufuna kwako. Mr. Milambo, what is remarrying a good thing? I think we've lost Mr. Milambo.
Okay.
Ushokupa futi yad balansa. Baruthi, mle munaposhani. Okay, we have Mr. Milambo is back. Mr. Milambo, remarrying, is it a good thing or a bad thing? Is it something we can encourage for people to remarry?
Well, well, that answer can be better given by someone that wants to remarry. But yes, if you want to, depending on the reasons that you want to actually do that again, I think it's okay to actually do it. We can encourage people to do so. Unlike people pretending to be living alone, yet they want to do what married people do. I hope I'm communicating something. Instead of pretending to be single, pretending to be strong, pretending to be able to contain these passions, yet you are not able to, you are busy exchanging women or men like plates, it's better to remarry. I think would encourage somebody to remarry. That's what I would definitely say. I think I also want to add something else, because CJ said 3 reasons. But there's also a reason of remarrying because you have a wife or a spouse and you want to marry again. You know, that is still remarrying. So they are basically 4. Maybe he wants to be a polygamous or something called polyandry in another country.
So, Mr. Milambo, are you saying, although in our number 4, if you want to marry one number 5, it's okay?
If you, well, these things are seriously personal. If somebody wanted to, it's okay. But if you are living by my Christian principles, well, everybody lives by those principles. We also must realize that the audience that we're talking to, not every one of us believes what we believe in, and we can't force our beliefs down anybody's throat. or his heart or whatever, or his ideas or minds, but we should be able to let everybody have what they think will work for themselves, because what might work for somebody might not work for me. So if somebody feels that they can handle, I use the word handle, 5 women, let them go ahead. If somebody thinks that they can handle 5 men, let them go ahead. Though that is really not in the Zambian scenario. But if everything has a start, maybe some women want to start marrying a second husband. If that is something that our Zambian women or anywhere else where they're watching us want to try out, that's up to them. That's strictly an individual's decision.
So now okay, Varuthi, if you look at nga mwamu ofo ya wafyela hivi abate mwefya kupa upani banani sana nga twamuna magenda yabiri na agenda ya kulefti abate mukupa upani banani nopo na pali genuine reason ni banani.
Usually, from my observation, it's the men. Men, they can remarry, I don't know how many times, but women, very rare, and sometimes it just depends with the condition that a woman is found into. But most women would rather be alone. But most men, they can marry and remarry and remarry.
As many times as they want. And they can justify.
And the thing is that even the society doesn't judge them. But when it comes to a woman, even for a man to marry you for the 5th time, it's going to be a struggle. But a man can marry even 8 times, and nobody says he's been married 8 times. And he even marries younger ones and even virgins. So I don't know. The other gender is more favored when it comes to remarrying.
Me accusing finger hiyo. Mara tupepeka pano. Okay, viewers, we are Nsaka, and our topic of discussion this evening is remarrying, and we are inviting people from different background, different region to come in and share your experience or your knowledge about this topic. We understand that there are many reasons why somebody would marry, so we are inviting we hear what your culture, values, beliefs, they're all about this topic. Today we are just chatting and educating one another just to understand what remarrying is. What are the side effects of remarrying, please? Are there any side effects? Who wants to go first? CJ. You problem gender. CJ problem.
Okay, but maybe before we look at the side effects, maybe we can look at the reasons why people remarry. We know there's the issue of sex. Okay, yeah, the Bible is clear on that one. It says, for those that cannot contain, let them marry, just like Uncle Jay has said. Others,
but it doesn't say the number.
There's no number, but it's a reason for remarrying. Okay. Then Venango, they marry because of genuine love. Okay. Others because there's property somewhere and they want to maneuver their way. So reasons for remarrying are many. Okay. And depending on the reasons, we're going to see the effects. Okay. So partly the reason why a person gets into or why they remarry will also depend on whether they have side effects and the kind of side effects that they are going to have, whether it's negative or it's positive. I would throw it to others to make their submissions as well.
So me, I'd want to find out, okay, let's look at first the positive. Maybe somebody here, we are just, these are our opinion. It's not that we are right or we are wrong. These are just our opinions as individual. What would we say this is the right reason for somebody to remarry and this is a wrong reason for someone to remarry? Ruthie.
Okay, for me, the first wrong reason, I would go with the wrong, is where people would want to remarry because you look at the property that that person has and you feel like, oh, you have a share in it. So I feel that would be a wrong reason to remarry if one would want to remarry. Or at times one would think, obviously, family, because those are just ideas that you may have. And then you find that but the guy is not interested in your children. And sometimes some guys would just tell you, just the two of us. Those are some of the wrong reasons. But one right reason that one would marry is love. When you find love and you feel accepted by this person and you are cared for, I feel life would be good if you find a good partner.
Ruthie, tulelanda pali remarrying. Ukupaka number to take a first tulelanda pa.
Yeah, this is why I've given those reasons. Ukupaka number 2. But then ungapeza number 1 kaja, you were in this abusive relationship, you never even knew what real love meant. Then watch the rewrite ka exam, you correct to that my mistakes. Wazipeza position yako ati, why did I even make that mistake? And you are able to do something in a better way because of the mistakes that you made in the first marriage. Then this one can become a better one depending on the reasons and the partner or wasanka. Are we remarrying the same person or it's a different person?
Anisha, Uncle Jericho, what is your reaction?
The right reason or the wrong reason for remarrying? I think the wrong reason has been given. But I think for me, the right reason for remarrying would be love and companionship. The Bible says 2 are better than 1. They have a good return for their labor. If one falls, one can pick up the other. Then the Bible further goes, if 2 lie together, they are warm. We don't have to go further than that. So the good reasons are for companionship and love, to be able to actually complement each other. If you are lonely, you need a companion, and your first marriage did not work out for whatever reason. Maybe your partner died, or you divorced, or they just deserted, like CJ said, they just deserted. Sometimes women also desert. Should not just accuse the men. Also desert. We have heard a lot of them that have deserted.
But
the good reasons are that one is marrying for companionship and one is marrying for love. I think that is what I would say for now.
But even, if you're marrying for somebody to look after you, like if he akakusungireko bana, what is wrong with that?
Well, if you agree, that's okay. But if that is your notion that you have, is your assumption that akanisungireko bana, he does not want to marry you to kusungira bana, then it becomes a wrong reason, because he might not do what you are anticipating that he might do. If you agree that this is the reason for marrying, well and good. But if that reason is not agreed, remember, in this particular relationship, especially for marriage, the 2 of you must walk in there with your eyes, ears open, your mind prepared, your heart prepared, and that this is the reason that we are getting into this particular relationship. And if these things are not laid on the table, things just appear when you're already married, then it becomes a disaster. You get out and then you remarry, you decide to try and remarry again. Or you may not want to do so because of the fact that the reasons that you went into the previous one did not work out. And just to mention, life is about living and entering. You live this particular phase of life. If it was this relationship that failed and you get to the next, the truth of the matter is that whatever situations, challenges, setbacks, hurdles that you faced in the previous one that you did not find the solutions to, they are bound to resurface in the next one because you didn't find any solutions to them.
But then there's a situation where somebody would say, ine sinaluvyanyeko ndiye vanaluvyanya ava. The first marriage, she was never wrong or he was never wrong. The second marriage, he was never wrong and he was never wrong. And she was never wrong. She didn't even, or he didn't even take time to do a reality check to see how they may have contributed to the failure or to that relationship not working out. What would be the reactions? CJ?
Yeah, hiyo ngakambe niyovuta kwe. Okay, so relationships or a marriage, it takes two people to work out things. If they're not able to agree and work things out, it's a problem. Okay, and definitely they'll go their separate ways. Then if one person is not seeing any fault in themselves, they'll continue looking at things that way. And for them, kairona walitabebwe. And when they get into another marriage, provided those things haven't been worked on, just like Uncle Jay has said, it means they'll still continue facing problems because they themselves are not seeing that baliko na problem. So kumankat katika ntenda wakanyamulira, they go with it even in the next, whether it's the second or third marriage.
Mr. Julia, welcome to the program. Mr. Peter Julia, welcome to the program.
Probably still having a network challenge.
I think so. I think you join us later. Let's give him time. So now we've actually, can I take it that we've all agreed that there are many reasons that would make somebody remarry. Some would be good reasons, some would be for wrong reasons. And some of the reasons we've mentioned here, maybe you've lost a spouse, your spouse ran away from you, they couldn't fulfill their promises. Maybe somebody just got fed up, many reasons. And we've all agreed that it's important to remarry if you can remarry. And I hear from the panel, one of our panelists also mentioned that you can marry as many as you want, as long as you can manage or to satisfy them, to look after them, and to provide for them. So now, when we look at all these things, what are the side effects of remarrying? If at all they are there. Do you have any?
Gender.
Ruth?
No, fine. Okay. I feel there are a number of side effects when it comes to remarrying. Sometimes goals may not be set straight in that particular relationship. And in terms of, for instance, where this woman feels, I want to get married because this man will take care of my family or my children, and that goal is not set straight, then the man just feels like, I'm in love with this woman. It's like the priorities, you have these missed priorities. As a result, you cannot live happily in that marriage. And sometimes you find that maybe the man doesn't want anything. You end up having family conflicts. Or perhaps maybe the previous marriage to a man ended because he couldn't have children with that woman, and that marriage ends. He marries you, expecting to have children, and the same thing happens. It becomes the same problem. Those are some of the side effects. So it is important that when one thinks of remarrying, you look at the reasons. Both partners actually should talk why you would want to marry, what are the challenges you had in your past relationships. Those will help also to build this relationship. Then you'll be able to know. Because you may just be thinking, oh, obviously I'll have children with this woman. Since she already has children, can't you then you marry this woman, you marry, no children, which means you will still leave that woman. So I feel depending on why one would want to remarry, the side effects will also determine.
Varuth apo pene padakalira shokomwala ndakawama kwaliva ka problem akashupa kwena where people would say therefore okufyala abana. Why do people honestly think when you're going into marriage you have to have children? And why do people demand for children in a relationship? Is it necessary? And why do the couple become under pressure?
Our African culture actually has a lot to deal with that issue. And many times the blame is on the woman. That is why women are left when they are not bearing children in some marriages. Then a man would opt to go and look for another woman. And actually, even the families will come in and say, look, this woman is not giving us children. This is because of our African culture. Our upbringing is like expectations of every marriage is children, which shouldn't be the case, because children, it is God that gives children. It's not up to us people that we are going to have these children. So there are times that God will delay a marriage, a couple to have children, and sometimes some couples literally will never have children. Others, they would opt to adopt because they are unable to have children according to how they understand things. But our African culture has this problem that gives blame to a woman every time a woman is not bearing children. And even just in the short period of time that the couple will be together, the family will be like, Namanje, you know, that expectation, like it's up to Come again? Imagine, and all those things. Already that's a torture to a woman. And before you know it, a man gets frustrated. Then the family, at times families will even organize a woman. You marry this one. Who you can learn a such pass at the time. And there are marriages that will just end on those grounds. And the man decides to remarry. And this woman also, sometimes a woman may not remarry because according to her, she'll feel like, I can't bear children, without knowing that she can, but it was a man's fault. So depending on what somebody goes through after the first marriage, it will determine either they can marry or not to remarry.
Okay, CJ, what is your reaction to that? And what do you have to say to the families who like putting pressure to couples just because of not having children at the right time, or at the time they think it's the right time? Because it's not right time.
You know, our African culture places a lot of value on children. Okay, it places a lot of value on children, especially wafuna tizina ipitirire lineage, that kind of a thing. So when a couple is not having children, it becomes a big issue. Sometimes even having a male child in a family is an issue. Why wajani wakazi weka wana kunka kwa mwamuna and vazankhala vavuta iwe yesakona winango lwakumbali wonyamula zina. So when you look at our culture and our society, these are things that are generational, and they are very important. Okay, and they are perceived that way. Though with the modernization and this global thing, tambo tamboibako wako wazungu and these and like we're becoming more civilized, and we have people that are able to understand that okay,
Yeah.
marriage is not just about children alone. It's about companionship, just
Mhm.
the way Ruth has explained. Okay, so from the tradition aspect, that problem, it is there and it will continue being there. It was there, it will be there. That's the way we are modeled. Okay, and I would say my family is young, they understand. Okay, but when ango you be on fire nokulongera ngati ni mkazi wazamulongera, so okay, such things have happened.
And you
But
see a doctor.
Adam,
They are not even doctors to determine where the problem is coming from.
they're not even doctors. Our resident Dr. Maseka usually says that it's none of their business if a couple is not having any children.
Yes, it's not.
That's what she usually says over there. This the infertility stigma is high. Okay, so um, I'd say from the cultural perspective, yes, it does bring a lot of pressure on a couple, and you find others who bend to that pressure and remarry, find another person to marry because they have that pressure, and even nabeve wafuna mwana wafuna zina ipitirire and all those other reasons.
Okay, thank you so much, CJ. Uh, Uncle Uncle Jay, what is your reaction and what is the advice to the family that like putting pressure on the couple? They end up causing problems at family level, community level, eventually at national level, and national budgeting and affected. Kind of What
In fact,
advice do you have to such family?
thank you so much. In fact, the problem also comes to the very couple because out of the desire to have children, and maybe the wife knows that she's not the problem why they're not having children, she ends up copulating with somebody else who impregnates her, and eventually they have children. The husband does not even know who the actual children. That's why DNA comes in handy. We have had a lot of problems. These women, after all, it has been said
Wakutandiza.
that only person
Women, it's you who
child is
causes
true.
that.
The only person who knows the child's true father is the wife.
Why?
So
The
how
wife,
do
the
we
woman.
know who out of this particular pressure, we have these particular problems coming in the home. All right, before it goes to national level, it has brewed a problem within the house. It's not good that parents, family put this particular pressure, because out of that particular pressure, a few other things will come. The woman might try to help the husband who may not be able to have children, and find another one that can do the job, the care farm or the garden, or a side debate, so that children can
To
come in.
remarry
How do you know as a this is not something new. We all know. I mean, this is something that can be discussed. If you want, you can bring it as a topic next time. It will attract a lot of calls. But look, we should not put this pressure, because let's allow this particular couple. Maybe they have a plan. We want to have children after 5 years, because then we'll have the financial muscle to bring these up children up. But family will say, after 1 year, they will begin to ask those questions. Out of those particular questions, then the pressure mounts, and eventually some homes are broken because of such. And so it is not right that family should put this particular pressure on there. After all, we went into this particular relationship, the two of us. And so how we run it, it's totally up to us. So I think maybe we should begin to live that way as even African society. that we should be able to let the family decide when they want to. If my mother says we want to hear the cry of a grandchild in the house, say, no, don't worry, Mama. The cry will come when we decide, because it's up to us to decide. My own personal example is my mother wanted me to have 6 children. I'm like, what? No way. I don't have capacity to look after these children. We are few. I said, you have your dream. This is my family. So if a few could stand that particular ground and be able to tell their families what they have decided in the family, the better. But how many of us do have that particular backbone to be able to speak like that to our parents? Very few. So I think we should get to that level where we allow the couple to decide. Maybe they don't want children, okay? Or maybe they have problems within. So just be open to say, if we want children, we can adopt. If we don't want, we're going to live like that. So I think the couple should be let to decide. And let's not bow down to the pressure of society around us or the culture that we live. After all, culture changes. Culture keeps changing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only one child. Are you going to force them? Are you going to dress them? Are you going to take them to school? It's extremely expensive to look after these children. Diapers today are costing how many? 400 kwacha. You know how much they? Yeah.
Nipangono hapo naye mwenyewe 400 nipangono.
No. But in Pangono to you, what about to them? You know, not every family has the same financial muscle. So I think and I feel that couples should be led to decide whether they want to have children or not. Pressure will come. Let them withstand the pressure that comes. I'm sure they are able to do so.
Thank you so much, Uncle Jay. I deliberately went a bit out of topic so that because I knew that there's a serious issue there. And just apopere na Uncle Jay Mwalanda. Epa lyo mwana kasha mkulala na ka brother. Aya mkulala na wine munganda kango kuyo kutali. DNA kafume iko connected.
Yeah.
This is Nsaka. You're welcome to join us through the link. You're welcome to come into the studio. You can join us through other platforms, which is Facebook, Twitter, and you can come into the studio. This is Nsaka, and may I remind our viewers that this program is not suitable for persons under the age of 18. Please, abana. TNT program teyabo bantu abashutulebo mfya may not be suitable for their ears. Our topic of discussion this evening, we are talking about remarrying, mukupa. Umwine mukupa, there are many reasons that causes about mukupa about 10, about 50. So now we are still talking about the side effects or the negatives. Apparently, our society allows men to marry. You can marry as many women as you want. But if we are not allowed to marry. Anyway, let's hold that thought. Well, let's also look at the positives as a thing. What do you think there are positives in remarrying? I also want us to think about people who've lost their partners. What are their benefits when they remarry? I also want us to think about people who've been divorced, even those over you know, your partner just wakes up at abakatumbakao nikangono in a drama sinikwanisa. I can't buy Brazilian here. Na eve mwamuna just throws diapers, she doesn't talk to me nicely, and maybe she doesn't even look nice. This man is even blaming the woman over his own failures to maintain her partner or his partner. Baruth, what is your reaction?
We are looking at the advantages of remarrying, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so the advantages of remarrying, when you look at the failures for your past relationship, which means as you enter in this next relationship, it's like going to rewrite the exam and so you look for tuitions and this extra work, you put more extra work to ensure that So when you remarry for right reasons, like the main reason for me, it's love. When you remarry for right reason in love, and love, there'll be acceptance because they will accept you for who you are. And this time it's like you're not just marrying this individual, you are also marrying, if they have children, you are also embracing others. So there's that acceptance where you have this companionship, and you're not going to be lonely, sexual benefits, and children also will have the benefits of having both parents, even though the other partner may not be the biological parent. But I feel those are the reasons. And life is good when you are with somebody that you love and somebody who cares about you. So remarrying is a good thing with good reasons, with a good partner.
Baruthi mwananda bwino mwakamba bwino Baruthi, but namverapo muntu akuita aindolemba exam pe analemba last time anapeza 50%, wabwera alemba number 2 apeza 20%. In such a situation benzeko pa first siwezi kumenya zoboka mpaka manje waenda kupeza bo kumenya wakutengula. What would be your reaction in such a situation?
I feel also it's very important not just to be quick to enter into this second marriage. You need to analyze a number of things. Look at the background of this person. This person has been married before. What was the reaction? If it were me, if it's a divorced man, for me, I mean me, I would look even for other people, or even for a certain, I can just find a way to find out from another, because usually I won't say anything bad about myself. Every person I meet, I will just say, that man was like this, it was like this, no wonder it didn't work out. I'm not going to talk about my weaknesses, but I feel it would be better to take time as you enter in the next marriage, know the person that you are marrying, probably know what did not work, the things that they cannot talk about in their past relationship. That will help you to make the right decision. And especially that is the second thing. So sometimes people, I think nowadays, they overlook the actual thing of staying with this person. The only thing you look at, I'll change my status when I go out, who have another matebeto, who have chirangamlilo, and all those things. But those are things that will just pass. Then the next thing, you have this man to look at you. You have the family, you have his children. So I feel there's need to take time, put a number of things into consideration before you enter to say, I think I will just marry. It's not just for anything. It's and then tomorrow. For me, it can't be like that.
Any love?
Wait. But love, it must have good fruits. Love in Kalena products, the end result of love should be good. Because if this love, initially I can remarry for 100 times. Because if I marry, then I go into an abusive relationship, it will end again, I will marry another one.
Really bad.
I don't think it can stay for a long time. Like personally, I was married for 10 years. Then I got divorced. It's almost going into 10 years now. I haven't remarried yet. I'm still putting a number of things into consideration. And I don't know, because of the many considerations that I have, I'm not like eager, like like everywhere I'm going, I'm looking for someone. No. So I feel ikafika right time izaka oneka, red light izaka oneka, izaka oneka che.
And Zaka kamba, I do.
Yes, Ubuntu be live. Ubuntu.
Go live.
Live. Remarrying.
Yeah, remarrying. When timamvera more negatives than positives.
Yeah.
But there are marriages that have worked and they're enjoying, okay, and it has worked. I like what Ruth was saying. Ukafiruka test ngati ndio muntu cheokwana cheulinomo. You try to put things in place so that testing angamine bwera uzaita ngati ni toto pato. So there are certain things that you are going to put up and say, okay, I think for me to be able to get into another relationship or marriage, these are the standards that I'll require. These are the things that I'll look at in the person that is contending to be future Mr. or Mrs. Okay, and then if the person that you found, okay, is as sincere and as genuine as you are, okay, and mwakonda nache genuinely, then definitely that marriage is going to work out, because
Yeah.
both of you are genuine about what you want and you're on the same page. Yamine mavuta, okay, it's when on the other side Suzi Bamzako really ngatali genuine, if the other person,
Especially
eh,
this gender.
this gender as in the other gender.
This one on our left.
When you say this gender, which gender are we talking about?
If we are talking
Not mention,
Yeah.
we are not mentioning names here.
We're
Uncle Joe, you're not
mentioning names, but mentioning the gender.
just
Which gender? Not name.
the gender on our left side.
Yes.
Okay.
This problem is everywhere.
Right. True. I agree. There's also something that I really wanted to comment as Ruth was going on.
Please
And
come in.
that came in because Himba.
Oh.
Network.
Apparently, the Bible. All right. Apparently, the Bible says love is patient. Amen. Can I hear an amen in the house?
Amen.
Amen.
We are listening. Talk, please talk.
Love is patient. Don't rush in. Take your time. Study each other. Some people may be nicely talking to you, and yet when they finally got you, the way they talk will change. So get to know each other. That's the whole idea why people have that particular courtship marriage. You can still court again for that remarriage experience and be able to actually make the right decision, so that as you go, you take note of the things that caused your first marriage not to work. God forbid, if it was a loss of a loved ones, you may not be able to actually prevent that, because that's a natural cause. But if it is a divorce, then you also have to be very, very careful of the things that cause that particular marriage to fall apart, because they might resurface. Like I said earlier, if you didn't really work on them, they might resurface. So the fact that you have found somebody that probably for the first time that you meet, they talk so well, they treat you so well, darling, beloved, these things, be careful. Not anything that is coated with ice, with nice icing, is really a good cake underneath. I tend to think that most of these things that are nicely coated on top, underneath, oh my goodness, there'll be something else. So take your time, be patient, wait for the right time, as you are observing, as you are learning, as you are going into this relationship. Because when you get to the level where you have remarried and remarried and remarried, it will become apparently it will become difficult to marry again. Because if you don't tell your friend that now this is my third marriage, who wants to marry a man that has been married 3-5 times? Even if it is women, however desperate, who definitely wants to marry a man that has been married 5 times?
Bajja kumsale basiya, bajja kumsale basiya. Yo, cheka number 3.
You are
No.
fifth hand, sixth
It's a no.
hand, 10th. Who wants to drive such a car? Definitely not. Whether male or female. So we want to be sure that this particular person is telling me the truth about themselves. And if I must get the truth, I must get it from you, not from another person. Because the reason that I want to talk to somebody else about you is because probably you're not telling me the truth. And once I discover that it is me, once I discover that I'm not able to get the truth from you, I can only get the truth from somebody else, already that you're not marriage material.
Jesus.
Because why should I be talking to other people about you when I'm supposed to talk to you about you?
Sometimes I'm just scared. I'm just scared and I don't want to lose you. Number
Well
8.
and good. It's better you lose me before you know me completely, instead of me to become the second hand, the third hand, the fourth hand, the fifth hand. You get the point. So I think it's better that we take our time, even as much as we may be falling in love, love at first sight. Oh, those are nice terminologies for crying out loud. But this is a lifelong relationship. And apparently, even those who don't believe in God, they want to be married in church and to say, before God and before these gathered here. There are very few, even those who are not married, who don't want to bring their marriage to church. Have you noticed that? They want to be married. They want to be buried by a pastor. You know, apparently they were nowhere in church, but because of this particular institution, they want to bring it to church. So please talk to the right people. Find a pastor who can counsel you, or a marriage counselor. They may, if you don't want to be counseled by a pastor, find somebody that has experience in these things, and they can help you and help you to take your nice. Remember, there will still be baby steps. Whether you have done it before, this is a brand new relationship. So take your baby steps and fall as you go. Correct the falling. And remember, if you fell last time, the next time that you're walking down the same road, do not look at where you fell. Look at where you stumbled, because that is where your falling started. So even in the last one, look at where you stumbled. Watch out for such particular indicators of such stumbling as you go ahead, so that you are able to make the right decision now. Because if you got into this one, you failed. You go to the next one. Like if you stumble, say you got 50, then you go to 20%. Then we begin to think that okay, at least up to there.
Thank you so much, Uncle Jericho. Thank you so much. CJ, will you please help us to read the comments from all the platforms? And if there are any questions which we can tackle as a team.
Okay, so viewers, we are having a technical challenge. We are not able to show the comments on the screen. So I'll just read them out. Okay. So there's a message from Winfa Princess. She says she's following from Pika. Okay, Shaabula Bwalia following. Then Caroline Chanda, good evening, watching from Samfia, Lubwe. Then Caroline says, interesting topic. Shaabula says, I think one side effect can be failure to leave if it doesn't work out. Okay. Then Eunice Shaabula says, good evening, Ubuntu channel, watching from Northgate Complex. We also have Choki Lewis saying, good evening, panel. There's Blessings Chelo also saying, good evening, panel. This topic is interesting. Caroline comes back and says, well said, Ruth, before you remarry, you really need to take a bit of time. You need to put a number of things into consideration. Yeah,
Amen.
Tracy said, watching. I think these are the comments that we have from Facebook. YouTube having a bit of a challenge due to the same technical problem that we're having here.
Thank you so much. And viewers, you're welcome to join us in the studio. As we are going towards the end of the program, we can still accommodate you. We would want to hear from you. We would want to hear what is your thought, what is your experience, what have you gone through. As we are talking about this topic, I know you may bring a very important point, or it may just help somebody out there. And now, Inga, bali abantu abadde okulanda ati ine I mean in Tonga they would say mendirimuga banji. Some they say Kanaka. Inenkala abaleka. And some of the Tonga people they say ndimemulega babotu, meaning I can leave this woman, I can go for another woman. What really would be your reaction, CJ, on such?
Okay, it goes to the morals that a person has. Okay, if you're a person of loose morals, so to say, you lavamuga banji bueno. Okay, but if you're a principled person, you will not entertain promiscuity at whatever level. Okay, because that is also risky behavior for yourself and even other people. Okay, so it's I'd say you just have to be a morally upright person and not put yourself kunkalawa gava whereby anyone can have access to you or do a universal charger.
Oh,
That's not great, huh?
Universal charger, like, oh my God.
Kairi. Pali ponse wosebenza.
my phone, any phone. Baruthi, yes, come in, please.
I didn't get the next one. My network just went off.
Okay. We are talking about those people who even like boasting. Me, I don't care if he doesn't do well. I'll leave him and I'll go for another woman. I'll go for another man, or I'll go for another woman. What is your reaction?
I feel before you finish them, you finish yourself.
Amen.
Because as you want to finish others, remember that there is also yourself involved in the finishing. That's what one must be considerate of that. And if you love yourself, you would rather not finish someone, because as you think of finishing, because you are finishing yourself. So we've seen many and we've buried many that thought they were finishing their friends, gosh, they are finishing their lives even.
Uncle Jay, what is your reaction?
Well said. Well said. I like the way Ruth put it. But I think the whole idea about such, like CJ put it, it's because people, in fact, CJ was rather polite. He said, loose morals. I would say no morals at all. Like you're saying, people that have no morals at all, because there are people that don't. You know, there are people that don't have any morals at all.
True.
Their conscience has been severed. There's nothing. They don't know right from wrong. They don't know their left hand from their right hand. So they just do whatever. And such people are not to be tolerated in society. Because in society with HIV/AIDS, in society with all sorts of communicable diseases, STIs and whatever, and you're going to say, "Ndimemurega banji, ndimemuga banji, ndimemurega babotu." If first and foremost, do you know what those babotu have? Do you know how many other people think like you do? So you don't know what they've deposited in there. And at the height of it, you have men who don't even want to be very conscious about using condoms. You know, they have gone to that particular level. And so really, it's not something that should be tolerated in society. And if we bring out our children and we advise our people in society to have morals, then that will be the starting point. Because he that has morals has a live conscience. He that does not have morals has a dead conscience. A dead conscience doesn't tell you what to do. A dead conscience, you go ahead, you trample on rotten material, you think it's okay. A dead conscience does not even smell the odor. They think it's perfume. You know, so we really must have people in society who have morals. As a result of that particular good morals, they will become good character. and we can build this particular society. But if we just let it like that, believe me, whether people go to church or not, we have people who do not go to church who have morals, who know that this is good and this is bad. And that is why, to a good extent, you have people who go to church and the people who don't. They talk about those people who go to church, said, if you get into heaven, then we also get in there. Because they've compared the way they live their lives outside church. They're even better than those who live their lives within church. The way they live it is not really different. So we really must have people that respect humanity to be able to say, I cannot use people. I should be able to help people. Love people. If you love people, then you not use them.
Some they have no shame. They even go to the younger ones. At least they have no morals. Nenabika kuna nembike kwa shame. Bamuta bakwata nensoni. The wise
Right.
people say insoni ebuntu.
Right.
Balana kutuba no tu no no. Because bale yumfati inen dareka abana kasha bengi, inen dating abana kasha basuma, inen kashitefi bala bati
Aim.
ichimusebo kumanda. Chikulu nacho. CJ, what is your reaction?
Well, Uncle Jay has really nailed it. Yeah,
Yeah.
there are people who don't have morals at all, and whether in the church or out of the church, there are people that are like that. Yeah, there are people that are like that, and you find that, for example, like in the church, these are the people that dent the image of the church, and people start thinking that the church is crap, it's fake, because of such people. Okay, where we hear of bad things happening by senior people or respected people in churches. Okay, but it just goes down to the person, whether a person fears God, has got morals or not. Okay, because um you should be able to determine what is right, what is wrong. Okay, and everybody has got that choice. Okay, and if you cannot live up to that standard, okay, of being able to be faithful to one person, eh, and you are a grown-up person, nishiwe kaya tabi peminodiri. But anyway, that is society. We have all sorts of people, and in the Western world, I would say that side things are so casual, and for them it might not even be a problem to them, because society around there, it's normal. Okay, malinga mwamvirana. Okay, it's okay. But in our African setting, when it comes to marriage, it is a sacred thing, it is highly valued. Okay, in most cultures it is not a simple thing, though nowadays we've seen that wantoma vitenga che anyhow.
Mm.
It's a thing for sure.
To
Okay.
whom it may concern.
uh and you find even when they are getting into it, they've not taken the necessary steps. Okay, they've not put up serious precautions to ensure that what they are getting into is a lifetime thing and they will enjoy it. They even it pays that they start having all these kinds of problems and it doesn't last, because marriage is a serious thing. Okay, if your first relationship or marriage failed, okay, you are getting into another one, you'll be comparing. Okay,
Mm.
you'll be
Yeah.
comparing uja enze so uyu aliso. Okay, and based on your comparisons there will be certain reactions. Even the other person, they'll also be comparing, and depending on vamina ona, there will be certain reactions. Maybe uja wanzona jaira to uja every morning enzokonda kuniposha so, apeza ati wesimwamene umposhera, it is a problem. So in a nutshell, I would say um, the foundation that you set for a person as they are remarrying greatly determines how their marriage will progress and whether it will work or not. Yeah, basically that's what I would say.
Thank you so much, CJ. And Bantu, namukalipa. Thank you so much. As we come to the end of the program, I'm going to give each one of us a minute just to conclude and to advise our friends there. Yes, there are genuine reasons why somebody should remarry, and it's important. Please, the viewers, don't quote us wrong. We actually support and encourage people to remarry, but in a right way and for right reasons. Not because you feel you don't care or you don't feel you owe anyone an explanation, but for genuine reasons, for the right reasons. In even some circumstances where we find ourselves, we are saying remarrying is a good thing, but let us follow the right procedures. Let us, if it is in a situation where you lost your beloved one, have time to grieve, have time to release them, to let them go until you are ready to bring in another person in your life. But Ruthie, over to you. Your last remark.
Okay, if one wishes to remarry, put a number of things into consideration if you've been following the program, the things that we've talked about. And if you feel you're okay being by yourself, it's okay. Don't feel judged by the society because of the decision that you make. And don't rush to remarry because you want to prove a point from your past relationships. So those are some of the things that people can make mistakes. You just want to have this event. I'll do this because I didn't do that. So in the end, you end up hurting yourself. Do not remarry for vengeance. Because you were abused, you feel like, okay, I'll deal with this gender. You go with this agenda to make the other person suffer because of the problems you went through in your previous relationships. If you wish to remarry, forget your past, bury them, begin a new life with a new person. And if you can't do that, stay away from marriage, be yourself, and enjoy being alone if you can.
Thank you so much, Ruth. Uncle Jay, what is your last remarks?
Two things. One, we encourage people to remarry if they feel it is important to them. But caution is that there are no two relationships that are the same. There is no chance that your past relationship, whether it was good, might be as good as the next one you're going in. For a simple reason that the person you're getting into this relationship is a different person. So there not be two relationships that are the same. So live in that next relationship as if you are beginning all over again. Learn this particular person and see where to adjust. We both must adjust. Whether it is the man or the woman, we both must adjust. And so we can proceed together and learn where we falter and where we're able to do things. Complement one another. You see, relationships, excuse me, we complement one another. Your strengths, all right, become, they cover my weaknesses. Your weaknesses, I cover them by my strengths. So we complement one another and together we move. And secondly, you're not competing with whether the previous marriage that you had that failed to prove a point, like Ruth said, you proving a point with the person. Let me show him or her that I can marry another one again, even a better one, even a richer one. You just end up frustrated because
Mhm.
the best competitor you have in life is yourself. Set goals for yourself and follow those particular goals. You don't want to set goals with somebody you do not know, and at the end of it you don't know what resources are at their disposal. So set your own goals and pursue them. Don't compete with anybody in life. You compete with yourself first. Set your goals and pursue them, so that as you get into this relationship with this particular new person, you are able to say, my friend, these are my goals. How do they align with your goals? How can we together put our goals together and move? What might not work as your goals, that might look selfish, you discard them.
It seems like we've lost Uncle J there. CJ, your last remarks. You are muted, CJ.
Yeah, sorry for that. Yeah, a lot has been said here. I've also learned a number of things, and I hope even the viewers have picked a lot of things. The Bible allows one to remarry, okay, from the Christian perspective. The Bible allows one to remarry if they cannot contain. If they can manage to stay without being married, they can go ahead. And if they choose to remarry, it's it's about their life and the future, so they need to take the necessary precautions so that even in the marriage that they'll be getting into, they'll be able to enjoy it. Okay, they'll be able to have a good marriage, a good relationship. Therefore, let them take their time, just like everybody has said. Let them put the necessary measures in place so that when they get in there, it is for them. They are at peace, they are in love, and they are enjoying the, the marriage that they are in. Yes, we hear a lot of negatives, but that's not the story for everyone. The foundation that they place will greatly determine the kind of marriage that they are going to have. So basically, we are encouraging to remarry if you want to remarry. And yeah, basically, I would say I would end there.
Thank you so much, CJ. Thank you so much, Baruthi. Thank you so much, Mr. Milambo. And thank you so much to the two panelists whom we've lost due to technical problems. But we hope and pray that we're going to be with them next Thursday. And to our viewers, we'd love to inform you that today we are unable to come or to have Evangelist Shaabula as he's committed with other duties somewhere else, and we hope we'll be with him this coming week on Thursday on this program, Pansaka, and we hope we'll be there also to join us and be with us. It has been a very exciting program, and we've enjoyed being with you. From us, Ubuntu team, Pansaka again with another exciting topic. It was very nice and lovely to be with you this evening. On that note, we are saying bye-bye to our viewers.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Good night.